On the cold winter days of late December 2019, in Wuhan City, China, hidden viruses began to mutate. Somehow, they managed to infiltrate humans, setting the stage for the greatest biological disaster humanity has ever faced. This disaster has caused the death of over 7 million people and infected nearly 800 million across most geographical regions and territories worldwide. At its peak, the world recorded more than 900,000 new cases and 18,000 deaths within 24 hours. It paralyzed almost the entire global economy. Businesses closed, supply chains were disrupted, and millions of people lost their jobs. Society fell into chaos, and the lives of billions of people around the world were unprecedentedly disrupted. The origins of the virus questions were raised. Where did these dangerous viruses come from? How could they spread so widely and quickly? How can humanity overcome the biological disaster named the coronavirus? Let's join Night Tourer to explore these mysteries in this video. Where did they come from? To date, the origin of the coronavirus remains a hotly debated topic. It is believed to have originated from wild bats sold at the Huanan seafood market in Wuhan, China. Some sources suggest it accidentally or intentionally leaked from the Wuhan Institute of Virology or was part of a political conspiracy. This debate reached a fever pitch due to the conflicting views of top officials from various countries. We have people looking very closely at this issue. Scientists, intelligence, and others are all involved. I think ultimately we will have a very good answer. And China might even tell us that. President Donald Trump said at the White House on April 30th, 2020, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo stated that China itself said Wuhan was the starting point of the virus. It's not just me saying this. China said it, Pompeo declared. Meanwhile, Chinese scientists and officials angrily denied these claims and responded with their own assertions. On Twitter on March 12th, Zhao Lijian, a spokesman for the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, claimed it might be the U.S. military that brought the coronavirus to Wuhan, although he provided no concrete evidence. However, China's opacity in disclosing information about the pandemic, supporting the World Health Organization's investigation into the virus's origins, and its initial failures in containing the outbreak have led the global community to question the matter further. Why did it spread so rapidly? The rapid spread of the virus was significantly influenced by the Chinese government's early limitations in disseminating information and managing the outbreak. When the outbreak began to spread in late 2019, the Chinese government struggled to recognize and respond to the situation. In Wuhan, the initial epicenter, control and prevention measures were not promptly and effectively implemented. During the 2020 Lunar New Year, when millions of people traveled across China and abroad, the delay in isolating the outbreak facilitated the virus's rapid spread. With the increasing development of international air travel and transportation, the coronavirus quickly crossed national borders and spread to other countries worldwide. Control and quarantine measures could not entirely prevent the virus's transmission, especially given the way this deadly virus spreads. It primarily spreads through airborne droplets when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks within about 3 to 6 feet of another person. Its long incubation period of up to 14 days, with 25% of patients being asymptomatic, further exacerbated the spread. Over time, the virus mutated and new variants emerged, increasing the rate of infection. Variants such as Alpha, Beta, Delta, and Omicron were more contagious than the original strain. Of all the variants, Omicron is considered one of the most dangerous forms of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. This new strain spread widely and rapidly in the community, causing an unprecedented wave of infections in many countries. Additionally, Omicron has shown the ability to evade immunity, reduce economic and social impact. Education. Over 420 million children and adolescents were unable to attend school, and had to resort to online learning as governments shut down schools nationwide in an effort to slow the spread of COVID-19. Racism. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, prejudice, xenophobia, and racism have significantly affected people of Chinese descent and those from East Asia and Asia in general. This fear, suspicion, and hostility appeared in many countries, especially in Europe, North America, and the Asia-Pacific region. Supply chains. According to WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom, the demand for personal protective equipment increased 100-fold, leading to price increases up to 20 times the usual rates and causing delays in medical supply deliveries by 4 to 6 months. Panic buying in places like the US, Italy, and Hong Kong led to empty shelves of essential items like food, toilet paper, and bottled water, causing supply shortages. The economic slowdown was mitigated by massive economic relief packages from governments. The US announced the largest relief packages totaling nearly $3 trillion, about 13% of its GDP. Japan launched the largest stimulus package relative to GDP at 21.1%. China and South Korea also implemented substantial packages at 3.8% and 2.2% of GDP, respectively. In Europe, Spain and Italy announced packages of 7.3% and 5.7% of GDP.
Despite these efforts, the economic numbers alone can't convey the full extent of the pandemic's devastation. The real impact was felt in the personal losses and hardships experienced by millions. Parents unable to see their children even after they passed away. Children who lost both parents. Families separated in quarantine in unfamiliar places. Crematoriums working around the clock but still overwhelmed. Fighting the pandemic, human ingenuity and efforts. After relentless efforts, immense medical resources, and significant investments in vaccines, humanity began to see results. A historic achievement in the field of medicine was made. On January 11, 2020, the genetic sequence of the novel coronavirus, later named SARS-CoV-2, was published on GenBank, an international database for scientists. Nearly 11 months later, the first vaccine by Pfizer and BioNTech was developed, showing 95% efficacy against SARS-CoV-2. Vaccines from Moderna, AstraZeneca, and Johnson & Johnson soon followed. Alongside these vaccines, public health measures such as social distancing, mask wearing, testing, and contact tracing help control the pandemic more effectively. On May 5, 2023, the World Health Organization, WHO, announced that COVID-19 was no longer considered a public health emergency of international concern and shifted to long-term disease management. This decision was based on indicators such as declining death rates and hospitalization numbers. Conclusion: the COVID-19 pandemic has been an unprecedented biological and social disaster in modern history. However, it also demonstrated humanity's resilience and capability. From developing vaccines in record time to effective public health measures, people worldwide showed solidarity and determination in overcoming the crisis. Although the fight against COVID-19 isn't over, the achievements thus far highlight that with cooperation and innovation, humanity can overcome any challenge. This pandemic not only brought devastation, but also valuable lessons about the importance of public health, science, and international solidarity. Will the coronavirus pandemic ever flare up again with other, more dangerous mutations? Or will another virus start to spread? Leave your opinion in the comments section of the video. Goodbye, and see you again in the next videos.